bags where horror lies.
Welcome back to Body Bags. This is week number 467. This is a random week. I'll be your host, Jason from Horrific Nightmares. And in continuing with my Brian De Palma overview, this week we're going to be talking about Raising Cain. Raising Cain is a 1992 film which runs approximately 92 minutes and is written and directed by Brian De Palma. Now, he was responsible for Obsession, Scarface, and Carlito's Way. Now, this stars John Lithgow as Carter. He was in Bombshell, Late Night, and Interstellar. Lolita Davidovich as Jenny. She was in Hollywood Homicide, JFK, and Blaze. And Stephen Bauer as Jack. He was in Scarface. He played Manny in Scarface, which is, of course, is also a Brian De Palma film. Traffic and Primal Fear. Now, this had a budget of $12 million and had a worldwide gross of $37.1 million. Okay, I'm going to get into a brief synopsis because I can't really say too much about this film. Okay, John Lithgow plays a man named Carter. He has a wife named Jenny and a really young daughter. Now, he is obsessed with his daughter. He constantly studies her. He's constantly hovering over her, and it has a lot to do with how he grew up. His father was a renowned child psychologist. Now, Jenny married Carter after her relationship with Jack fizzled out. Jack's back in town, and she wants to go see Jack. Now, her and Jack fell in love because she is a doctor and his wife had died of cancer, and they became close. And because his wife died, a lot of emotions ran rampant, and they kind of hit a snag in their relationship, and she ended up marrying Carter. But she is still in love with Jack, so she goes to meet him, and her husband Carter oversees them fooling around. Bad stuff happens from there. I don't want to go any further into this film because this is one you have to kind of experience. Okay, now that that's through, I want to talk about the Scream Factory Blu-ray because this is one of my very favorite Scream Factory Blu-rays, and I'll tell you why. This has actually two cuts of the film. We have the theatrical cut, which I have seen way back when it first came out, and I'm going to be honest, I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan, as you can tell by now. That was in the bottom of my ranking if I were to rank all of Brian De Palma's films. But there's a cut on here, and this is the reason why I bought the Blu-ray. There's a cut on here that was done by a director in Norway, I believe. I think it was Norway. Who is also a huge Brian De Palma fan. And even though he liked the theatrical cut, which I like it as well, it wasn't one of my favorites, he was able to look at Brian De Palma's original screenplay and see that there was a problem. Now, what was that problem? Okay, when Brian De Palma put this movie out to theaters, right before this happened in post-production, he decided to change some things around because of how he felt and because of the studio's influence, which is something he always regretted. So what this director did is he actually put the parts back in chronological order of the way it was in Brian De Palma's script. Now, this was always one of my complaints about the theatrical version. It did not feel to me like a genuine Brian De Palma film. Those of you who've seen Carrie, or Dressed to Kill, or Body Double, or Blowout, Brian De Palma has a style. It's very, in some ways it's very Hitchcockian, but in some ways it's definitely his own style and take on films. He has certain things he puts in his films that only he does. And this one lacked some of that stylistic stuff that he puts in his films. in rearranging the orders of the actual parts and the way they were supposed to originally be done in this film, it feels like a Brian De Palma film now. Raising Cain, with the director's cut, actually went from the bottom to the top 5 in my Brian De Palma ranking, underneath classics like Carrie and Phantom of Paradise and Dress to Kill and Body Double. It made all the difference in the world in this film. So, what I'm trying to get at, if you're a fan of Brian De Palma and Raising Cain was never your cup of tea, try it again with the director's cut. To me, it makes a world of difference. It tells the story from different perspectives, and it's definitely more a Brian De Palma film than the one that was released in theaters. So I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It flows so much better. And yeah, definitely check this one out. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time.